And I'm going to talk a little bit about respect. One way to really get a bead on something is to look at what happens when it seems not to be given, right? And so in this case, we're talking about disrespect, which would be called dissing somebody, right? The whole thing of biological psychiatry and saying that we're really going to save respect and avoid stigma by letting people accept their mental illness and it'll remove the stigma from mental illness. When what actually happens is we tell somebody they're defective and we end up treating them with less respect because they're considered biologically and genetically defective. And so we can decide for them. Here's an example. Have you ever heard of the concept of refusal to learn? It's like I'm looking at students in the classroom who aren't learning, and so I call them learning disabled or ADHD or dyslexic or whatever, And this guy, Herbert Coles, developed this idea that he recognized that with some of his students, what was really going on was refusal to learn, particularly in certain situations where mostly young people of color students, mostly white teachers, in overt or covert racism going on. The students said, screw this, I'm going to refuse to learn. And then you're looking at them as either lazy and unmotivated or looking at them as dyslexic or learning disability or whatever, right? And what's really going on is a disrespect because you're unable to see them as self-determining and refusing to learn and to participate in a situation that they saw as oppressive. All confused around the issue of respect. In that case, it's disrespect is not seeing and then putting your own judgment on it, right? Very, very common dynamic. Respect requires seeing and being seen. I can't respect somebody unless I see them. And I don't feel respected unless I feel seen for who I am, right? In terms of dealing with children, we call it mirroring. Reflecting back that, yes, I see your power when you say no. I see you through the eyes of delight at how wonderful you think you are. I respect that. I witness it. I'm aware of that. And I mirror it. I reflect that to you, and you feel seen. That's respect. I see your distress. I empathize. Respect. As opposed to, oh, you're mentally ill and I'm going to tell you what to do with your life. Right? Respect requires seeing and being seen. It also requires modeling. The do as I say, don't talk that way to me. Say yes, sir, to you. It's like, do as I say. Doesn't work. Children never fail to tune out that dynamic, but they also never fail to imitate, to model that which after that which has been seen. The way you teach respect is you be respectful. It's not that you instill it as a force or a punishment or whatever. You treat somebody respectfully, they naturally grow into an attitude of respect. You treat other people with respect as a model, and that becomes emulated. It's a whole atmosphere and attitude that is modeled, mirroring and modeling. That's how you teach respect. It's not through reward and punishment and instilling some arbitrary code, certainly by force or by persuasion or whatever. Seeing and being seen, mirroring, modeling, becoming and being respect, and conveying that, right? That's really pretty simple. The good news is that respect is really human nature when you're not in distress, because it's the nature of awareness. Awareness is like a light that shines upon all, with respect, meaning with awareness, with seeing it for what it is. And unless there's distress in the way, from some hurts or upsets or whatever, that get in the way of seeing and recognizing what is out there, then respect is a natural quality. We tend to think intelligently and cordially and for the well-being of all when our needs are met and we're not in distress. You don't have to instill and force respect into people. You have to just allow it and draw it out by seeing that needs are met, by practicing this awareness that's clear and open-hearted, and by modeling that attitude. That's how you do it. It's the nature of awareness. And with that comes admiration, because you are in awe, you admire, you wonder about what you're seeing. And so I call it seeing your child with the eyes of delight. You see them, you celebrate that, and you model an attitude of awareness and respect. Same thing with people of any age. So much confusion about respect. It's not about manners. Manners are nice. It's nice to have those available. But respect is way deeper. And I was reading a book by one of my teachers, Arnold Mendel of the Process Work Institute in Oregon this week. And I have a quote that respect is inclusive with compassion. Respect is inclusive with compassion for inner and outer diversity. In other words, when you have an awareness that allows for the full range of experience, these different aspects of your own self and your own zigzagging path, and those that come from outside as well, that's inner and outer diversity. That brings compassion, meaning feeling from the heart for all that, right? And a celebration of inner and outer diversity. That's respect. It's related to tolerance, but it's more than tolerance. It's compassion and awareness and support for diversity, as opposed to a reactivity that says this is worthy of respect and these things need to be suppressed or avoided or punished or whatever. Those are justifications for your own disrespect. And so that's what happens, People act disrespectful and they justify it on somebody else's action. That's irresponsibility. You look at my own dynamic, what's going on, and call forward this attitude of compassion and respect for inner and outer diversity.